I grew up on John Wayne westerns, Gregory Peck dramas, Rodgers and Hammerstein movies, big-budget science fiction blockbusters, slick comedies, James Bond movies, and movie adaptations of Shakespeare. I like my dialogue witty and fast-paced. I don't like art house movies, which I'm convinced are mostly 15-minute short films stretched out over 90 minutes. I generally pass on indie films. Having played violin and piano for most of my youth, I expect good soundtracks, and I expect the editing to be tight and clean. So while I enjoyed the movie Kick-Ass, I passed on Super until Rocco Motown suggested I review it. I'm glad he did. Super is about Frank Darbo, played by Rainn Wilson, and his wife, Sarah, played by Liv Tyler. Sarah is a party girl who utterly screwed up her life, while Frank is your stereotypical beta male white knight who, violating one of the supreme laws of Lycus 101, tries to help her fix her broken life. Even now I can hear Tom saying, "Don't you do it, don't you do it." But Frank, he went and did it. How does she reward him? By dumping him, of course, when strip club owner Jacques, played with evil delight by Kevin Bacon, steals her away. Sarah slips back into her party girl ways and spends her days on drugs and her nights stripping. Inspired by the public access TV superhero, the Holy Avenger, played by Nathan Fillion, please bring back Firefly. Frank makes himself a superhero costume, names himself the Crimson Bolt, and, armed with a pipe wrench, spends his spare time hiding behind dumpsters waiting for crime to happen. And when crime does happen, he attacks them with his pipe wrench. Libby, played with cackling glee by Ellen Page, is a clerk at the store where he shops, and she thinks the Crimson Bolt is great. So when she finds out it's Frank, she makes herself a costume and joins Frank as his sidekick, Bolty. Where Frank is merely your typical, moderately bloodthirsty beta male white knight, Libby definitely has issues and is easily moved to beat crime to a bloody pulp. Libby gets the hots for Frank, and when he insists on remaining faithful to Sarah, she rapes him, following which he barfs in the toilet, sees a vision of Sarah in the vomit, and decides that he has to rescue her from the evil clutches of Jacques. Libby accompanies him, but one of Jacques' evil henchmen shoots half her head off. Enraged, Frank storms the house and kills Jacques. Reunited with Frank, Sarah attends addiction group therapy, and after she gets clean, once again leaves Frank and marries a beta male provider with more assets than Frank. She has 4 children who call him Uncle Frank. Financially, the movie was a flop. It cost $2.5 million to make, but made only $422,618 at the box office. This is not a movie feminists would enjoy, and they probably hated it. Nevertheless, on a puke factor scale of 1 to 10, this film rates only a 7 because it clearly shows what happens when beta male white knights expend their time and resources rescuing women. You get friend-zoned. Moral of the story, unless you find yourself a unicorn, go Galt, go MGTOW, but under no circumstances do you go rescue a woman from her own stupidity. Next movie review will be of The Egyptian, about a man who expends his fortune on a courtesan. I read the book when I was a kid, then saw the movie, and it's a MGTOW movie if ever there was one. And by the way, while he may be 30 years late to the party, Stefan Molyneux has made an excellent MGTOW video, which I've linked in the low bar. Definitely 2 thumbs up. For the Backlash at Backlash.com, my name is Rod Van Mechlin.